What's going on, guys? BennyKsBandwidth here. We're going to go over the Asus EA N66, and I promise you guys a review. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, guys. So we are here to talk about the Asus EA N66. Okay, so let's kind of go over what this actually was for. So Asus decided they wanted to actually take this device and make it like a 3-in-1 device. So basically what it does is they actually try to have it be an access point as well as a wireless adapter and then a repeater, so like a range extender. So it was a great idea. Definitely, this is something that they could incorporate maybe in the future. But I'd have to say, let's take a look at the look of it. So in terms of the look of it, it kind of looks like those speakers that kind of like would sit on top of the desk and they would be shaped like this. But with that, like I'd have to say, it looks great. And it actually gets a little bit hot when it is plugged in for long periods of time. Never turns off, so not a big deal if you feel like it's gonna burn out or anything like that. Just unplug it. But honestly, I've used this for about 3 months now, and it's completely fine, just like a router. But yeah, so the connectivity. Let's go over the connectivity of it. So the connectivity, I'd have to say, it's got great signal. There's actually, I have not had any dropouts in terms of signal strength or anything like that. I do have 3 walls this way and downstairs where my router is. The router that I am connected to with this is the actual Asus RTN66. It's been a great router as well. I got that a long time ago, way before this. And then also the connectivity with it, for all of you guys out there that don't want to mess with any of the actual like advanced modes and stuff like that. There's an actual WPS button right here on the bottom. You just push, and then you push your connection on the actual router, just like any other WPS system, and it should connect from there. Also, with that, like I said, I've never dropped signal here with this device. With that too. I'm going to actually go to a video now and we can actually look into the software and just see what it is. So let's go ahead and do that.
Alright guys, so this is the online software that I was talking to you guys about. So I can't go into these because it does have some of my information for my actual router and everything, but these are the 3 modes that it gives you. So it gives you the repeater mode, the access point mode, and the Ethernet mode. So with that, like I said, it shows here that in Ethernet mode it does work well with an Xbox 360, PS3, Blu-ray player, and more. But with me, I tried it with all my consoles, and it worked completely fine and actually made the signal better. So if you wanted to switch between any of these, you would just push save, and then it would go into the other mode, and then it would restart the device. Also in here, it does let you connect to it through here. If you don't use the WPS button, you can put it in manually through here, as well as changing the difference for the LED control. So originally with the default, with the LED lights themselves, when it's super bright, basically it sets it to that it has a strong connection and that it's connected to the internet. If it's blinking slowly or the light is dim, it actually it shows that it has a weak signal. That's what the default is set to. But in here, this is where you would download the firmware and then upload it to the device if you needed to actually do the update on it. Then this is if you need to obviously restore the factory default, or even and then you save the settings. And then if you have a restore on the actual saved on your computer, you can put it in here and then upload it. And then also in here, if you do go into the system log here, it does tell you what's going on in here. And then in the LAN, basically all it tells you is the IP address, and then it also tells you your network map. But when you do set this up initially, if you want to go in here without pushing the WPS button, you would go into your quick internet setup, and then it pushes you through this wizard on exactly what you're going to be using it for. It'll have you put the security settings in, and then it'll finalize it and save it, and then you're probably going to have to reset it yourself by unplugging it and plugging it back in, making sure that actual settings you put in there actually stuck. So in terms of that, right here, it just kicked me out because I just sat there too long. But yeah, that's the online software. It's pretty simple. Now back to the rest of the review.
Alright, and we're back. So with this, basically, since it does use an Ethernet cord in the back right there, I'll probably put some different video on over this, but with that, basically, you can connect it to anything that has an Ethernet port in it. So like your TV, your PS4, any of our consoles, anything that has an Ethernet device. I did try it in different actual devices that I have in the house. So I tried it on my PS3, I tried it on my PS4, my Xbox One, as well as my Wii U. And when I used it through all of those, I actually moved my my stuff upstairs just to test it, to put it through a few more walls, and the actual change between the signal strength of using the internal antennas for the actual consoles, since this can go up higher and that kind of go a little bit, has a little bit stronger of an antenna because that's what it's made for. This actually had an average of about 2 bars higher of connectivity on the actual devices. So in terms of the wireless connectivity, this thing's like really killer. But with that, excuse me, with that, it does make it have a stronger signal. So just like any other wireless adapter, it does help actually with having a better connection with your router. But honestly, having it connected to those consoles, it definitely, in terms of leaps and bounds, makes it way stronger than just the original antennas inside the consoles themselves. But in terms of the cons for this device, there are a lot of them, just as many as there are good things. So that's why even some of the reviews, it's literally smack dab in the middle. Like, a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. But in terms of what I found in the past 3 months from the usage of this, basically, excuse me. In terms of the cons that I've found in this for the past 3 months, in terms of trying to be in repeater mode, basically the range extender mode, it actually would briefly work, and then it would just drop the signal it's giving out, and then it also got stuck in repeater mode. So I actually had to go into the online software and basically put the firmware back onto this and reset it completely to factory settings for it to go back to the original mode. And then with that too, as an access point, this does work as an access point. It does. But the only problem is it actually, I put it as an access point for my internet, and then I only walked about 30 feet away from it with no obstructions at all, and I just lost signal like that. So in terms of that may be a software thing, but I'd have to say something like this for an access point or even an extender, I don't say to use it for that. Mostly just wireless adapter, wire Ethernet adapter. But with this as well, I'd also have to say a con would be possibly the online software too. Reason being is changing from the different modes. Sometimes it actually wouldn't save in the new mode that I'm trying to change it to. So you'd actually have to completely unplug it from power and then plug it back in, and then you would actually have to do resave on the new mode, and then it would actually take it. And sometimes it wouldn't take it, just the same idea. You'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, and then resave it, go back into the software. But then, that's definitely a big problem. That should be just seamless. In terms of like the overall usage of this, though, I'd really have to give it to Asus though on trying something on making this little device, because honestly, I'd have to say the idea behind this is like truly smart. Like it being able to have it be all three in the case of like having a gaming house, or just adding it on, I guess you could say, as a repeater or something like that. If you have a big home, if it actually did all of those things, this would be a really great device. But in terms of that, they really need to just, I think they should revisit this idea, because having it in something like this, the whole idea of this is amazing. If they could just tweak it a little bit, maybe it's just in the software itself. Also, the design of it itself, obviously it wouldn't make very good for an access point in terms of trying to push out a signal. But this little device, for what it costs, it doesn't make sense to me, because for the amount of each device, I guess you could say it's about $90 on Newegg right now. That's I think what this is going for. But with that, it'd be like $30 for each piece of it, so each of the 3-in-1, which would make sense. But if one only works, it should only be $30, right? So I've actually found this device at Fry's Electronics. I actually got it for $60, not $90. But even for $60, it's almost somewhat reasonable, because I have nearly my maximum amount of when I'm plugged in terms of wireless connectivity and the speed I have, because I pay for about 150, and that's what I get at downstairs. But through this, I get about 130, which is not bad. That's through 3 walls downstairs. But with that, you can find a wireless adapter, like I said, for $30, $20, even $50 if you wanted to go that high for one that had its own extra antenna. But with that, this is going to be my day-to-day, because I needed a wireless adapter and I wanted to test something new. So having this, I am not ever going to really ever be using it for a wire or an access point or a range extender. It is going to be solely for wireless adapter. I was just hoping the other 2 things would work. I know in some of the other reviews that I've read, at least, they said some people were able to get it to work and others were not. So this may just be a dud one, but in terms of what I need it for, it's perfectly fine. I do see in my eyes now that I did overpay for this device. But honestly, I'd have to say, since this is going to be my daily driver and it hasn't done me wrong for the past few months in terms of what I need it for, it's perfectly fine. And I'd have to say, okay guys, well, this is my review on the Asus EA N66. Please hit that like button if you liked my content. Obviously hit the unlike button if you did not like it. And if you're feeling fancy, leave a comment down below and subscribe, please. Definitely it helps my channel so that I can actually push out more content like this, and makes me want to push out more content the more you guys ask for it. So with that, guys, I'd have to say, I am Benny, BennyKsBandwidth, and I will see you guys later.